Hi everyone, today we'll learn how to create a histogram for group frequency distribution with class marks. So let's take an example. We have to construct a histogram from the following distribution of total marks obtained by 65 students of class 8. And the distribution given is this. Now note here, we have been given the marks as midpoints of classes. So 150 is a midpoint of a class, and so is 160, 170, and so on. Now we want to create a histogram. And if I take just these as points, if I take 150,8 as a point, 160,10 as a point, and I make the graph directly, then what we'll get here is somewhere like this. But this is not what a histogram is. We have to make a histogram. So a histogram should look like this. And the main difference between this graph and this graph is that for each point, there is some width, right? Which this doesn't have. This is just one point, whereas a histogram should have some width. So it's clear that we can't just take 150. We just can't take the midpoint. We have to take the class. And we have to assess the class interval whose midpoint is 150 and it follows this distribution. So that is our objective. Our objective is to find the class intervals from the midpoints of the classes because midpoints won't help us in creating the histogram. So now let's see from the midpoints, how can we assess the class interval? So we need an upper boundary and a lower boundary here. So let's make a class. Say this is a class where this is the upper boundary, this is the lower boundary, and we know that 150 is right in the middle because it's the midpoint. And now we have another class here such that this is the lower boundary, this is the upper boundary, and the midpoint is 160. Now these are stacked together because the histogram has to be continuous. So there can't be any broken gaps here. And now another thing to note here is that the difference between any two midpoints is 10 because 160 minus 150 is 10, 170 minus 160 is 10, and so on, which means that the midpoints are equally spaced out. Now if the midpoints of all the classes are equally spaced out, that means the length of each class would be equal. And while this makes sense intuitively, but let's get a better idea using just plain algebra now. Because if this is going to be h, and h here is the class length of this class, and we are saying that this is also h, both of them are equal. And since 160 is the midpoint of this class, so this length would be half of the class length, so this is h by 2. And same goes with this, because now 150 is the midpoint, so this length would be half of the class length, so that would be h by 2. And we can see here that h by 2 plus h by 2, that is also h, which is the class length. So, and since the distance between each of the midpoints are same, and that we prove that it is nothing but the class length, so all of the classes would have the same length. And now it is easy to calculate h, because h is simply the difference between two consecutive class midpoints. We already have the midpoints. So here in our case, h would be 160 minus 150, which is 10. Now this makes it very easy to assess what the upper boundary and lower boundary is going to be. Because now that we have the value of h, then this point, the upper boundary of this class would be 150 plus h by 2, this distance. And the lower boundary of this class would be 150 minus the h by 2. And let's clear out our clutter and write the values. So we have our h, the class length, as 10. This is 150 plus h by 2. H is 10, so 150 plus 5, that would be 155. And here it would be 150 minus 5, so that would be 145. So from the midpoints, we calculated that for this class, the class boundaries are from 145 to 155. And we'll do the same thing for other classes. So let's keep our table here. Let's first write down the steps that we are doing. So first we calculated h, which is the difference between two successive classes. And in this case, our h is going to be 10. The second step that we have to do is that for each x, for each class mark, or for each midpoint, we have to calculate the boundaries because we're looking for class intervals since we're constructing a histogram. And the boundaries are calculated as upper boundary would be x, which is the class mark, plus h by 2, and the lower boundary would be x, which is the class mark, minus h by 2. So let's calculate these boundaries for each of the class marks. So we have our marks here, the midpoints or the class marks. And here we'll extend that table, we'll get the lower boundary, the upper boundary, and what the class would be eventually. So our lower boundary would be 150 minus 5 because h is 10, so h by 2 would be 5. Whereas upper boundary would be 150 plus 5. So that would be 145 and 155. So our class would be 145 to 155. Similarly, for 160, the lower boundary would be 160 minus 5 because x minus h by 2, x is 160 and h by 2 is 5. And the upper boundary is going to be 160 plus 5. So this would come out to 155 and 165. So our class would be 155 to 165. And in the same way, the boundaries for all the midpoints would be, for 170, it would be 165 and 175. For 180, it would be 175 and 185. For 190, it would be 185 and 195. For 200, it would be 195 and 205. And the classes would be 165 to 175, 175 to 185, 185 to 195, and 195 to 205. So now we have our classes. So all that is left to be done is to plot the histogram between the classes and the frequency. Here frequency is the number of students in each class. So let's take this column here also. So we have our classes and we have the respective frequency. So now let's make a histogram out of this. So let's take this table upwards. And this is a new table on which we'll build our histogram. So let's take our graph. On the x-axis, we have the marks classes. So it would be 145, 155, 165. And on the y-axis, we have the frequency or the number of students. And you can note here that while our y-axis is starting at 0, our x-axis is starting at 135. So this means we have to show that this is a broken axis. And this is a sign for broken axis. And now we can construct our histogram. So let's take our first point. We have 145 to 155. So all we need to do is we'll place a line here at 145 and we'll place another line at 155. And now we know the frequency or the number of students is 8. So let's try to understand where 8 is. So this is 8 and we'll take 8 here. And this block that is created, that is the first block of the histogram. So we'll make this block. And in the same way, we'll construct such blocks for all the other classes to get our histogram. So for 155 to 165, we have 155 here, 165 here, and the frequency is 10, so it will be here, and a block would be this. For 165 to 175, we have 165 here, 175 here, the frequency is 25, so it would be here, and we'll take our block. For 175 to 185, we have 175 here, 185 here, and the frequency is 12, so it will be somewhere here. And we'll create a line here, and we'll make a block. For 185 to 195, with frequency 7, so we have 7 here. And lastly, for 195 to 205, the block would be somewhere here, and the frequency is 3, so it would be here, and this is the last block. And so this is our histogram. So that's how you create a histogram when class marks are given. Thank you.